How's it going, everybody? CyberusWolf here again with another LSPDFR tutorial video. This one's going to be slightly different, as we're not going to be installing like anything related to LSPDFR as far as like callouts or plugins or anything like that right now. This video is simply just going to be about installing some essentials and some recommended settings within the actual basic LSPDFR. So let's go ahead and let's get into them. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to our LSPDFR config, which you can find in your Grand Theft Auto 5 main directory folder that you set for LSPDFR. If you watched the previous LSPDFR video, you would be able to find your Grand Theft Auto 5 folder that you installed LSPDFR on by pinning it on here. So you can right click your file explorer and just click on the file for it as your game. To get to the LSPDFR config, you're going to go to LSPDFR folder. And then right here, you'll see LSPDFR.ini. You go into here. Let me grab this and drag it over. Okay, so a few settings that you want to change within here are going to be your main preload all models. By default, it's set to true. However, it does cause some textural loss, so I recommend changing it to false. Callout multiplier, you can leave that at default, or you can reduce it if you want. I leave it at default. That just means that you'll get callouts very quickly. World events and maximum number of events is basically like if a random NPC ped comes over and takes your cop car in the middle of you actually patrolling. That's basically what it is. So I like to set it to a 0 and a 0 as well. Cops can commend vehicles. This is more of a personal preference. I usually don't play it with it on, but it is something that if you want to do more realistically, it can happen, although it is extremely rare for it to happen. So I will just make it false. You guys can leave it true or false or not. Main workaround DLC vehicles. So what this one does is it basically adds the DLC vehicles from GTA Online when they had their update that allowed you to become a police officer in a way in GTA Online. It adds those cars into story mode. They're okay if you're into more of a lore-friendly style GTA LSPDFR session. However, if you're going to be installing LSPDFR vehicles for their actual IRL counterparts like Dodge, Chargers, Ford Crown Vics, Explorers, things like that, you're going to want to change this from true to false. That will get rid of those added vehicles from that DLC. Disable ambient cop spawn and block. This is basically just allows officers to spawn within their designated areas. Ambient disable player flashlight override basically means that you disable the flashlight that is included with the new version of LSPDFR that came in 0.4. Some mods require it to be off in order for it to be handled, and usually that just means you have to make this one true. So things for like stop the pad, I think they want you to have it as true to disable it. I'm not entirely sure yet on policing redefined, but I'm pretty sure that it will probably end up having you have it turned off. So have this true. Disable player holstering actions. I'm actually not 100% on what this actually does. Disable escape suspect encounter. This one basically just kind of does as it says. It disables the suspect escape encounter, which I always have that to true, because you don't. Yeah, I don't want to have suspects escaping, even though they probably end up will escaping. I changed this whole thing to 0. Random units. It's basically just disables the random unit spawns. I have this set to true, so you don't need random units spawning everywhere. It just cakes up your game and all that. I'm going to set that to 0 for the ambient spawn frequency. It just basically means that there isn't no frequency for them to spawn in. I'm going to decrease this one down a little bit from 5 to 3 for max cops in area. And then I'm going to change the maximum spawn cops in area. This is basically how many people can actually be in the area. I'm going to also change that one to a 3 as well. Backup manager request full reset. I'm not entirely sure what it does, but I leave it default. For callouts, to have the big radar, basically what it does is when a callout comes out, it zooms in your map and makes it like 2 times the size. It's a personal preference. It can be useful to let you know where a callout is happening on the actual map without having to open your map all the way. But if you just accept the callout, it's going to direct a waypoint for you to go to the callout anyway. So I have this as true, so that way it doesn't do that. Ambient respawn officers assigned threshold. This basically just means the amount of officers that can respond to it. I have both of these set to a 0. Just basically means, they can't, won't be assigned in an area. Now, if you watch the previous video of how to install LSPDFR, this is one I talked about a lot. At least not a lot, but I talked about it at the very end of it. Disable camera focus. What this does is, if it's enabled, whenever you're in a pursuit with a suspect and you get close to them, it will make your camera follow that suspect for a short time and then return back to your normal playing game style. It gets annoying, so I recommend changing that to true to disable it. The maximum units, 20 is pretty big. To reduce your game clutter, I would definitely reduce this down to like 5 or 10. I'm going to do 5 for the maximum amount of units. Escape time, I'm just going to change it to 99,000. To the traffic density budget, you can kind of leave these things alone. Frisking, disable COVID-19 items is false. I'm going to change this to true because I don't really want to frisk people and find those items, especially when I'm going to be using plugins like Stop the Pad or Policing Redefined that actually already includes their own kind of items if you have ones that use COVID-19 items. Hold up time. This is for the call out hold up when you get it. It's a standard LSPDFR plugin. LSPDFR call out that allows you to only 1 minute to get to a store robbery or a hold up of any store. Depending on where it is, 1 minute just isn't enough time and the people get away. So I recommend change this from 1 to 2. That gives you 2 minutes. Key handler, always disable keyboards. I don't know what it does, so I don't touch it. These ones I don't really touch. Disable multiplayer map, keep that at false. You want to keep this false because there's going to be some mods that actually use it, like enable all interiors, and some other ones that actually use the multiplayer maps. You need to have this enabled. Networking for both the server communication and Discord presence. This just takes down your resources for if you're like making videos or you're just trying to play LSPDFR at a better performance wise. I recommend turning these ones to true, because you don't need these people knowing like what you're doing on their servers and stuff like that. It just takes away resources from your actual computer. I think that's not everything that I kind of play with. So you just have to go to, once you're done, you can hit this X button right here. You can go to file and hit save, and it saves your changes. And it'll turn green after once you have saved it. This is Notepad++. It's a good one that you guys should definitely download as well. So LSPDFR.ini files are done. Now we're going to go into some essentials that I like to have for my game before actually installing other mods. So the first one we got is LemonUI, and what LemonUI is it is basically a languaging engine that other mods use in order to communicate with game files and other mods. So you go down to the link in the description and you'll get this, and you'll just click this LemonUI zip. Next up, and then the way you install it is, we'll show it later. Next up is Menyoo. It is a very high powered thing. It allows you to do a lot of stuff. You can pretty much go in here and read off all of these if you want, but a lot of YouTubers use it. I use it. It's very easy it's definitely a must-have mod for when you want to delete certain things when you're actually in the middle of an LSPDFR session. You'll just come here, you'll click download, and then download again. Next up is we have skip intro and legal messages. This basically just gets you into the game faster by skipping the intro and all those legal boring messages that pop up on when you first load up GTA. And all you do to download this file is you just click the download this file, agree to download, and then it just downloads. But I'm not gonna do it because I've already got it. Next up is in-game screenshot. This one is very, very, very nice. It's actually a script. So you need to create a scripts folder in order to install it. And I'll show you guys how to do that in this video as well. But what this basically allows you to do is it's essentially a Rockstar editor thumbnail maker, if you will. It allows you to take screenshots and position them in a way that you usually would have to use Rockstar Editor to do, and to find the right angle while you're playing the game. So it's just allows you to do it while you're actually in game. You can take a screenshot, you can zoom in, you can have it be slow-mo, you can do it while you're driving. It's really cool. You can take those perfect screenshots with this script right here. It's really nice. I use it for all my videos, and we'll be using it for all my videos. Resource adjuster. This one's a big one. Basically, it's a collection of patches, like it says. Some of it is used with 5M to improve stability, and it actually uses your system memory to give it more of a boost in performance. That's basically what it does. Weapon limit adjuster. Lets you have more attachments on weapons. Some mods actually require this, like some weapon mods require this because they add more weapon components than what the actual game can handle by default. So it crashes without this mod. So it's definitely a mod that you need if you plan on installing add-on weapons that add a lot more attachments. Siren setting limit adjuster. This basically just allows your vehicles to use pretty much all the lights that are attached to the vehicle. Without this, sometimes depending on the vehicle that you install, you might have some lights that aren't actually working fully. This actually ends up fixing that. Ped prop limit adjuster is basically the same thing as the weapon limits adjuster, except for it's for ped props like hats, vests, uh, gloves, things like that. With it being an older game, those things can add up pretty quickly. And the more things you add on a ped by default, like your LSPDFR characters, like hats and stuff like that, you might run into crashes because you're exceeding the limit that GTA has implemented. So ped prop limit adjuster just pretty much increases that. And it's the same concept. You just download and then click the download again to actually download it. So once you have all of these things downloaded, we're going to go ahead and we're going to install them. So we're going to go back to our GTA 5 directory, going with LemonUI. We're going to double click it. If you don't have WinRAR, I recommend that you get it, either WinRAR or 7-zip. It's definitely going to be needed. So for Rage plugin hook, yeah, this is the version that you want to get, is Rage plugin hook. So you're just going to come into this folder, Rage plugin hook, and you're going to take the LemonUI Rage plugin hook PBD file and the DLL file and just drag and drop them into your main game directory. Just like that, and it's been installed. Menyoo is a little bit different because I think this one actually wants you to go into the actual GTA OpenIV. Let's go read over the README real quick just to see. Please. Oh no, it's just into your root GTA directory. I thought you would have to place it into OpenIV, which you don't. You just take these two folders and you drag and drop into your main game directory. All right. Next up is the skip intro. This one's pretty easy. You just take it, drag, and drop into your main game directory, and it's done. GT5 resource adjuster. Go into GT5 resource adjuster file, take the ASI and the INI, and just drag and drop them. The README text will include some additional information in here if you actually need it. So this was tested on build 2802 with 10 gigabytes of RTX 3080, 32 gigabytes RAM, and with the maxed out NVIDIA install. So basically, they tested it on that version. It still works on the latest version of GTA 5 from what I've noticed. So that one is now done. Weapon limit adjuster, it's the exact same thing. Just take these two files, the INI and the adjuster, ASI, and drag and drop in your main game directory. That is done. In-game screenshot, we will come back to later, as that one actually does include a little bit more stuff that you usually have to do. So we'll skip that one for now. The ped prop limit adjuster, this one's pretty simple. You just take the ped prop limit adjuster ASI and drag and drop it into here. Additional README just kind of tells you, what's required and how to install it. All right, that one is now done. Siren setting limit adjuster. Go into Siren setting, go into this, and you just take this ASI and just drag and drop. And now that one's completely done too. Okay, so for in-game screenshot, you're going to see just these two full files here. That is going to be kind of weird if you don't know how scripts work. So in order for scripts to be ran in game, what you have to do is you need to come to your main game GTA folder for your LSPDFR. You're going to right click and you click new and then click folder. You're going to call this folder scripts. Just like that. It shouldn't matter if it's lowercase or uppercase, but you're basically going to make a scripts folder, and then you're going to come into this site inside the scripts folder, and you're going to take these two files and drag and drop them into here. And then you're done with in-game screenshot. That's how you install it. And then you can go through the INI and some of these mods and just change what keys you want. By default, this one's J, which I believe that is actually an EOS keybind, so you'll end up changing this in the future. But for now, we're just going to leave it at default. So let me go back to the actual in-game screenshot to explain it a little bit more. So see, it says right here, into your scripts folder, you will need the latest script hook v and .NET script hook. So basically, script hook nightly and script hook v are good for this one. That's how scripts work in GTA 5. All right, those are the essential plugins that I like to install before I get down into getting pretty much LSPDFR fully integrated and all my other mods. You might be wondering why I didn't download or show some of the other essential mods like a game config and things like that. And that is because I'm going to be showing those specific things when I actually do video for those. And that would probably be for the uniforms and the vehicles. Anything that has to do with OpenIV, that's when I will do those videos. When I'll install those and show you how to install those. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. That was kind of different, just kind of going over the essentials for LSPDFR that I like to play with. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Consider subscribing to the channel if you found it useful, so you never miss a video. Click the bell icon to let you, so that way YouTube notifies you of when I upload. And give the video a like. It definitely helps me out. And like I said, I hope you guys enjoy, and hope to see you guys in the next one as well. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.